A very good afternoon, dear students. Hope you all are in good health. Let's have a quick recall of the story before having any discussion on long question answer today. See if you have gone through the given lesson sincerely, honestly, along with a loud reading of the story, you should be able to answer the simple questions such as who was Mahendra and what was his job? Who was Iswaran? How was he useful to Mahendra? What happened after the most delicious dinner on the auspicious day? Why did Mahendra resolve to leave the place so abruptly? Etc. Now we will have a quick recall first, then the long answer type questions would be discussed. So the story starts as Iswaran's story was told to Ganesh by Mahendra, who worked as a junior supervisor at different construction sites. As Mahendra was unmarried, he was able to live in the temporary shelters provided by the construction company. Iswaran accompanied Mahendra wherever he went. He was an advantage to him because he provided him company, cooked food for him, and even washed his clothes. Mahendra says that Iswaran would gather all the things required to prepare a meal within no time. In fact, he magically collected the required things to prepare food. Every morning, Mahendra would get ready, eat his breakfast, take his lunch along, and go for his work. In the meantime, in the absence of Mahendra, Iswaran would clean the living place, wash the clothes, take a bath, eat his lunch, read his favorite Tamil story book, and take a nap too. NAP. Nap means short sleep, especially during the day. In the evening, Iswaran would entertain Mahendra with his stories. He had the art of storytelling, as he would use his body gestures, facial expressions, and voice modulation in order to bring his characters to life. Even though the stories seemed untrue, Iswaran narrated them in such a unique way that Mahendra listened to him with curiosity. He would start a story with an introduction, lay the setting for his story, and give a good background to introduce his characters. He described a simple incident in such a way, along with actions, that it would create suspense in the listener's mind. Once he told Mahendra the story of an elephant that had escaped from the jungle and entered the town. The beast reached Iswaran's school. As it destroyed the school property, all the students locked themselves in the classroom. At that time, Iswaran was studying in one of the junior classes, as we are told in the story. He was watching the incident from the rooftop. He suddenly took a stick from one of his teachers and came downstairs boldly in the ground. He walked towards the elephant because it threatened to attack him. Iswaran was not scared of it. He gathered all his might, all his strength, and hit the elephant hard on its toenail quickly. This attack stunned the elephant. It fainted and fell down on the ground. He didn't complete the story and said that they were getting late for the dinner. He went to get the dinner warm, but Mahendra was curious to know what happened next. As Iswaran did not continue with the story, Mahendra had to remind him that the ending was still pending. Then, in a casual manner, he said that a veterinary doctor was called. He brought the elephant back to consciousness, and after 2 days, a mahout was called who took the elephant back to the jungle. In this way, this anecdote of his ends. Then Mahendra asked Iswaran how did he manage to overpower the huge beast. At this, Iswaran replied that he used the technique of some Japanese martial art called karate or jujitsu. Actually, he had read about it somewhere that the martial art was able to make a person unconscious by paralyzing the nervous system. Every day, Iswaran would narrate one or the other story which was entertaining for him and fulfilled the absence of a television in his living quarter. It is a very important point over here. We get that Iswaran fulfilled the absence of a television in Mahendra's living quarters. One morning, Iswaran asked permission to cook a special dinner as it was the day when they cooked meal for the dead elders of the family. That evening, Mahendra really enjoyed a delicious meal and complimented Iswaran on his culinary skills. As Mahendra was relaxing after the meal, to his dislike, Iswaran started narrating a story related to ghosts and supernatural powers. He said that the factory area where they were living was once a burial ground. On the very first day, he had seen human skulls lying around. He added that he was not afraid of ghosts, but on a full moon night, he saw an ugly ghost of a woman who had a wrinkled face and tangled hair and held an unborn baby in its arms. Mahendra was uneasy and scolded Iswaran for talking nonsense. He said that ghosts did not exist and ordered him to get himself examined, get himself checked, as Mahendra thought that Iswaran had gone mad. Since that day, Mahendra felt uneasy and would look out of the window in order to check the presence of any ghost around. One night, when Mahendra was sleeping, suddenly he woke up as he heard someone crying. At first, he thought that it was a cat searching for mice, but the sound became more human like and deep. Mahendra could not ignore it and looked out of the window. As he looked out, he saw the white moonlight and a dark shadow holding a bundle in one arm. As he saw the ghost, he started sweating, breathing heavily, and fell back on the bed quickly. After some time, Mahendra thought that probably his subconscious mind was playing a trick on him as he was thinking about the ghost. But there was actually no ghost. He got ready the next morning and had forgotten the incident of the previous night. Iswaran wished him and gave him his lunch bag as he usually did. He said that a few days ago Mahendra had scolded him for discussing the ghost, but last night he saw it himself. As Iswaran heard the crying sound coming out of Mahendra's room, it was confirmed that Mahendra had seen the ghost the previous night, and it was not a trick played by his mind. Once again, Mahendra got scared. He left in a hurry and resigned from the job as he couldn't live at a haunted place a single day. So, the first question here appears as, can you think of some other ending for the story? This is a very good question for the readers. Yes, of course, we may think, we can think of different endings for this story. Everyone has his own view to develop. Well, I am suggesting you my opinion and would like you to go with it until or unless you are very confident for your own opinion to pen down. Another ending of the story could be there. Mahendra was rational and logical. He could have proved to Iswaran that he was not going to be frightened by his stories. Mahendra could have played a counter trick on Iswaran by telling him that all that Iswaran was telling him was very interesting but totally nonsense and untrue. In a way, Mahendra came to know that Iswaran used to weave stories where he himself stood out as a hero. The only need was to shatter this self image that Iswaran used to create for himself. Mahendra should have told Iswaran to go out and encounter the ghost. There was no need for Mahendra to leave job. The next question you may have as, draw a character sketch of Iswaran. As we have found that the whole story revolves around Iswaran, so we do have sufficient content to develop his character sketch. Dear students, I would again say that I am just trying to guide you how you should develop your own idea whenever a question is asked. First of all, keep the word limit in your mind. If the question is asked about Iswaran, how would you manage the sentences written on Mahendra? Listen, like Iswaran was a servant to Mahendra, we have placed Iswaran at the position of subject. Got it? He was very skilled in cooking and could always prepare something interesting even with limited ingredients. He was very loyal and faithful and was very fond of his master. He liked Mahendra very much. He never complained. He always accompanied him wherever Mahendra would be posted to, even to the most distant areas where one could not find shops around. Iswaran was dedicated and punctual and performed all his duties very carefully. He was fond of reading Tamil stories that had an element of adventure and horror in them. He was equally comfortable, equally brilliant at telling a story. He was a great chatterbox, and so he entertained his master at night by telling his creative stories and anecdotes to him. He would turn his talks into experiences in the form of short anecdotes, and in each of these anecdotes or stories, he was in habit of occupying the central position of an uncrowned hero. Uncrowned hero means जिसको ताज नहीं पहनाया जाता, means a hero that had not been rewarded. In his fit of imagination, he would be performing heroic acts in the stories which no one else could do. Iswaran had a convincing style. He would get so involved in the story that he would move with the situation of the story with gestures and actions and voice modulations. He knew where to pause to heighten the effect of suspense and climax, so that the listener would demand what happened next. Thus, we can say that Iswaran has been a very interesting and fantastic character throughout the story. So, this way you can develop a character sketch of Iswaran. The third question you may have as describe Mahendra's encounter with the supernatural power. See, this question specially designed on an incident where it is shown how Mahendra reacted when encountered with a supernatural element, that is a female ghost, right? So in this answer you students should try to keep your sentences around Mahendra. I repeat, describe Mahendra's encounter with the supernatural power. We will keep the sentences concentrated on Mahendra in our answer. Mahendra was a very rational and logical person. He didn't believe in supernatural powers and Iswaran's concept of the presence of ghosts. That's why he scolded Iswaran for mentioning such elements in his stories. Mahendra believed these were all the parts of Iswaran's imagination only. One day Iswaran told him a story about how the place where the factory stood was once a burial ground, and Iswaran told him that he had seen skulls and how on one full moon night he saw the ghost of a woman holding a fetus in her arms. Mahendra walked out of the room after scolding him about his made up stories. However, the story did have an impact on Mahendra's mind, but he didn't show it. Mahendra became restless, and each night he would look out of the window to see if there were any spirits moving around. Then on the full moon night he was little scared to look outside and fell asleep. But in the middle of the night he heard a low cry sound which became louder and human like. He looked out and saw a cloudy shadow in the shape of a woman holding her fetus in her arms. He was very frightened. In the morning, however, Mahendra had forgotten about it, but Iswaran again reminded him his experience by saying he knew that Mahendra had seen the ghost of a woman because Iswaran had heard the crying sound from his room. Mahendra was now scared of the story and decided to leave the place instantly. So this way you can develop your answer. You can also involve your view wherever find it suitable. In case you do so, be careful, those expressions should be picked out from the story only. Students, your homework is to draw a character sketch of Mahendra. So we will meet in the next class. Hope you will be able to develop your answer successfully. Till then, take care. Thank you. Have a nice day.